right, as we get started today, let's go ahead and take a look at the homework handout that you did last night. You get out that homework handout, and you practiced the 3 constructions that I told you were going to be on the quiz, which we will take here in just a few minutes. For your first construction, you had a circle, and had a point outside the circle, kind of looks like about a 4 o'clock position out about here. And you're supposed to construct a pair of tangents from the point to the circle. What did we need to do to construct these tangents? Quentin?
Draw a line from the point to, from the center to the point.
Good. Join the center and the point with a straight line. So connecting those dots there. Again, that assumes the center's given to you. And so draw that line again. If the center weren't given, how could I find the center, Jamie?
You could make an angle.
Audrey? Draw any chord. Perpendicular bisector of the chord, and then that would give you a diameter. And then to find the center,
You make a bisector.
perpendicular bisector, that perpendicularly bisect that diameter, find that midpoint, which would be the center. But again, the center point's given to you, so we didn't have to go through all that. All right, so we joined the center, we joined the point. Back to Jamie now. What do we do in this construction?
Now we try to find the midpoint. Or
Good. We don't try, we do, right? It's like Yoda says, try not, do or do not, there is no try. Okay, so we're going to find the midpoint of that line we just drew, and the great words of wisdom from Yoda. Anyway, and how do we find the midpoint?
We put one point on the center and draw an arc above and below. And then,
Assuming we've got the compass open more than half, right?
right.
Yep.
And then we do the same, keeping the compass open the same amount on the other point.
Good. Okay, just do that perpendicular bisector, construction 1, and that'll locate for you the midpoint. Again, really the only part of this line I even care about is that midpoint here. So there's my midpoint. Once I got the midpoint, Ethan, then what?
Measure the distance between the midpoint and the center and make an arc.
Good. Measure from midpoint that you just found to the center of the circle. There we go. So we've measured it, and then you said,
I make a big arc.
make a nice big arc, okay? Big enough that it cuts the circle twice. You get those 2 points located, and these 2 points where that arc crosses the circle are Genesis, your points of tangency. So to finish, you simply connect the dots. Again, make sure you go back to the original point. Some students have messed up, they go to the midpoint. No. From the original point we were given out here to the points of tangency, and when we connect those dots, we will get our tangents. And how many had a construction like this? Any questions on that construction? All right, for the second construction, you were given a triangle, and you were told to inscribe a circle within the triangle. So the triangle had a line something like that, and then a line that looks something like that, and then a line that looks something like that, and there's our triangle. We want to inscribe a circle. Kendall, what do we do first?
Yeah, the angle bisector.
Good, how many?
At least 2.
At least 2. If you've got time on the quiz, 3 would probably be good. Make sure we're careful, make that arc. Come to one point, make an arc, make sure it stays the same amount before you make that next arc, and then as carefully as you can. That is so hard, especially with maybe a dull pencil or a piece of chalk, but try to get that exact intersection, make sure it goes exactly to the vertex. So as I kind of line it up first to make sure I can actually hit, and try to get just exactly back to the vertex. If you miss the vertex a little bit, or you miss that intersection point a little bit, it's going to throw you off. Now I'm looking at this and I'm actually wondering, did I draw that long enough? Right? Because I want to make sure that bisectors all meet up. I'm not sure that I did. It wouldn't hurt to extend this just a little, as long as I can extend it perfectly. There we go. All right, and then so you said at least 2, preferably 3. For sake of time, I'm just going to do 2 of them. I just hope I did it really, really accurately. Ooh, that's just barely crossed. All right, and where these two angle bisectors meet, Chris, is a point that we call the...
Point of intersection.
Well, it is a point of intersection, but this point is specifically called the...
Circumcenter.
the circumcenter. We're inscribing the circle, so...
Incenter.
In-center. But I can't just open it up and make my circle. I need to know exactly how far to open the compass, Audrey. Good. Construct a perpendicular to any one of the sides. I'm just going to go straight down, but it really doesn't matter which side. Get your compass open past the line a fair bit. Not if you're too close, it's going to be hard to get much of anything, but a fair bit, but not so far that it misses. And my compass is definitely sliding here. All right, so we get our 2 points of intersection, then from there, of course, we'll make our arcs down below. This, again, was construction 5. And then we connect the dots down. We're mainly interested just in the portion that comes to here. The rest of it, I mean, not a problem to draw the rest of it, but we really only need that much of it. Because that distance is how much you'll open the compass. And then comes the fun part in actually finishing it out with a good circle that goes all the way in the moment of truth. A little outside, just touches, so just a tiny nudge outside there. Anyone nail it? All 3 sides just perfect?
I think.
A couple of you. How many of you just one of the sides you just missed a little bit? All right, any questions on this construction? Yes, sir.
How much margin for error is there on the quiz pertaining to this?
Yeah, so as I mentioned to Quentin, I think it was the other day, I used the football analogy. If I can see space, like here, I can actually see a little bit of chalkboard between white and blue, minus a point. If I can see a whole lot of space, maybe -2 would be the worst I would do. If you miss on all 3 sides, -3. If you miss on all 3, you got a real problem because you should have measured at least one of them, right? So you better not miss all 3. But you miss 2 sides close, maybe -2. But the worst you'd see on neatness there would be maybe 3 or 4 points tops.
So is it really not even possible to fail it completely?
Well, I mean, if you did perpendicular bisectors, you would fail this particular one completely. I don't know about the quiz itself, but yeah, make sure you do. As long as you follow the steps, you're not going to do badly. You're going to make an A as long as you have all the steps right. So angle bisectors, neatly as you can, to set up the circle neatly as you can to get it to try to hit. And like I say, minus a point on mine, just barely.
So these should be free quizzes, free 100s. Or
As long as you know the steps and do them. Now, Ethan, on the other hand,
It's right there.
What is this line?
I did the perpendicular thing or whatever, and I just realized on how you supposed to do it that way.
Yeah, so not this random perpendicular, but the perpendicular from it. Yeah. All right.
No, I know now.
Questions on this?
I was like, wait, what did you do?
All right, so you're going to get it in just a minute on the quiz. Okay, good. And then your final construction that you had, you were given a circle and a point on the circle, asked to construct a tangent at that point. So let's go and take a look at that one. And the point looks like it was right about 8:30 or so not 9 o'clock, not 8 o'clock, right about here though. And we wanted to construct a tangent at that point. And Chris, what do we do first?
Connect the dots.
Connect the dots. Or better yet, don't just connect them,
Extend a little bit.
but extend specifically extending outward through the point on the circle to give yourself an extended radius kind of sticking out. The reason we want to extend it out, Jamie, is so that way we can...
Find the midpoint.
No, we don't need the midpoint here. Ethan needs some redemption after the last construction. Ethan?
You extend it out so you can make you can make your little arcs.
Right. Remembering constructing the perpendicular is what we're about to do. We need to be able to make a little arc on either side, and I can't do that if I don't extend it. So extend it out there so you make a couple little marks in constructing that perpendicular. Then from there, remember, open the compass, class, just a little bit more before you go to the arcs. And again, you could go above and below. I'm lazy. I only need 2 points to determine a straight line, so I'm only going to do arcs above, but not wrong to go below. And go ahead and connect the dots. And should have had something like this. How many had a tangent constructed to your circle like that? Any questions on constructing a single tangent at a point on the circle? Yes, sir.
Say on the quiz, if you were to add an extra step, like say, find the midpoint because you got confused, would you take off one?
You would just start running out of time to finish if you start adding steps. But as long as these are the steps that you have the radius extended, you made the perpendicular, it is tangent, it's neat.
You can have whatever.
Even if there was an extra step, it wouldn't be wrong. Again, it would just slow you down and make it harder to finish the quiz.
So you wouldn't take off.
No. No. As long as you had the correct steps and the end of the construction was done correctly. Incorrect steps or unnecessary steps might be a better way to put it along the way, wouldn't necessarily result in points off. All right, questions at all before we begin the quiz? All right, we'll clear your desk then, except for a pencil, a compass, and a straight edge. Pencil, compass, straight edge is all you'll need out. Like the last construction quiz, you'll take this quiz on my paper. And like the last quiz, there's not actually a blank that says name, but if you would at the top of the paper, go ahead and put your name first and last, along with today's date, which is 2/5/21. 2/5/21, today's date. Straightforward. Complete those constructions as neatly and as accurately as possible.
How long do you have?